What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to go over the trades we end up taking today inside the Discord, as well as the game plan going into tomorrow. So this is what we end up looking like today. If we go here on the 30-minute, you can see we ended up losing the bear trend today. So you guys know going into this week on Friday, we ended up flipping bearish with this 30-minute chart crossing and getting back above the 10, the 50. So we saw a little bit of continuation down on Friday. I was in puts, QQQ puts, and those were up 50%, trimmed half. And then today, ended up cutting the rest of the position a little bit in profit. So yeah, that's how that swing ended up going. Futures were down quite a bit. Unfortunately, they weren't able to hold. I mean, we ended up opening, I think, like slightly red. Contracts were in green, so I just cut them off open. And yeah, we end up losing the bearish trend right here. 10 SMA went below the 50. That's why we kind of saw a move higher the entire day, kind of expected. Really wasn't interested in taking any shorts, but when it came to the fibs, again, this is what we looked like. If you guys know, when we are playing the fibs, all right, so when we lose the trend on the 30-minute, wherever we are on the 30-minute, when we cross down, we play the range we are between when we cross down. So when we end up crossing negative here on the 30-minute, that was after 10 o'clock. So you can see we're between the 23.6 and the 0% level here on the fib. So 70.31, 69.81, that's your current range we are playing. So the market's now neutral. We have to wait for a break of either side here. So we got to break up to the 70.31 level, break above it, and we're in buying the dip mode. If we break back below 69.81, the fibs stay the same and we short the rips. So again, if we break above that 70.31 level, what we do is we flip the 100% and then zero mark, and then we change the pivot low to the last low we had on this last bear trend, which would be down here. So that's kind of how you go about changing the fibs, and what we do if we break higher and what we do if we break lower. It's very simple. So yeah, when it came to the 0DT chart, I really don't focus on this when we are in a neutral range like this. It's more so I'm looking for the fib levels, because neutral market, you know, we could chop around a little bit. 0DT chart isn't really something that I care about that much. I mean, if we look on the call side, you can see, yeah, we ended up getting back above the 10 and the 50. Really wasn't something I was wanting to take. I wanted to get some sort of dip on the fib to long, which we never got. And then we just try to hire the rest of the day, which this action, not really, you know, I don't really care to trade. I mean, we got, yeah, you could say we got 10 estimated reclaim here. It ended up playing out, but it's not something I was looking forward, you know, looking to take. So the two trades that I was looking for was this level down here to dip buy, 69.81. We came close here, 69.86, 5 points, but we didn't quite hit it. A lot of times when we're crossing the 0DT chart and we're looking for a dip on the fibs, we tend to just hold this 50. So like this dip right in here was probably your best opportunity. Honestly, if you wanted to grab this dip, you could have, because we came you know, within a couple points of that fib, and we're at the key spot on the 0DT chart. 30 minutes going negative, and we also have this 50 SMA curling up like really hard. So, you know, if you bought this dip, that's actually not a bad trade to take. Wasn't, you know, it's not like something I was, you know, dying to take or anything like that. So I didn't take it. And yeah, I didn't take any trades when it came to SPY chart today. I did enter a swing, which I'll go over after I finish talking about SPY, that I really like. But yeah, that was pretty much our day. I mean, we didn't do anything. Very simple. We just trended up, grinded higher today slowly, chopped around a bit, and that was that. Really nothing, you know, that I really wanted to take. Going into tomorrow, again, if we look on the 30-minute here, we are neutral at the moment. You can see it's 10. This chart is all funky right now, so this chart really doesn't mean much. But if this crosses tomorrow, if this 50 curls, we'll be bullish. If we end up just dropping tomorrow and we cross back down on this premium, then okay, we're still neutral. So you know, game plan for tomorrow, just look for a 0DT cross on either side if you're playing those, or look for a fib trade, which would be the either 69.81 dip to buy, or honestly the 70.31 to short. Those are going to be your two levels you want to play. And yeah, it's a very simple trade plan for tomorrow. So that's what we ended up doing today. That's the game plan. A swing I did enter today was Intel. This is such a nice looking chart. Even on the regular chart, I haven't been going over like the regular chart recently, last couple days, because what you want to do is when the market is you know, trending lower, you want to either find the names that are you know, super strong relative strength. That's very important. Or you just sit out, which I ended up doing. I was in a few swings a couple days ago before we ended up dropping quite a bit, and that's when I ended up just cutting my losses. I was probably down like 15-20% on a couple names, and that's when you just want to pack it up and wait for the market to kind of rebound and look more bullish. Like today, off of open is when I was like, okay, market is starting to look a lot better because the 30-minute chart was crossing negative. So having something to tell you, about the overall market is very important. I feel like when you're trading, the regular chart on breakouts, because if you don't have that and you're just trying to play every breakout you see and you don't know what the overall market's doing, and if it's crashing, if we're dropping a lot, you're not going to want to play breakouts because they're not going to be following through as much if we have the market trending higher. That's when the breakouts are gonna do the best, and that's when you want to be trading them. So last couple days I just haven't been looking at the breakout trades because market's been heading lower. We're cross bearish on the 30-minute. We're still in short the rip mode. So that's kind of how you want to go about picking names for breakouts, or just going about the breakout trading in general, because that's the best way to do it in my opinion. So Intel, really nice name here. This is on the monthly contract, which I don't do much, but this is kind of a regular chart play paired with the system. On the monthly chart here, just looks really nice. I mean, this is a very, very nice looking chart. On the monthly, we got back above the 10, or not the 10, we got back above the 50 SMA, bounced off of it today. I'm in this for a swing. And then also, if you just look at the regular chart, which I'll pull up over here in a second, looks really nice. I mean, we pulled back the moving averages, volume looks really nice. The pullback we had was on like lower volume, and it is setting up to be a nice setup, which I think we end up breaking above previous day high maybe. Actually, hold on, let me take this stuff off first so you guys, okay, so this is what we look like on Intel. So pull up the regular chart. It's kind of a 2-for-1. We end up, you can see this little like base we're forming, like right, these highs, stacked highs, in line with this, these candle opens. This is kind of forming a little base, and I know we didn't technically break out today, but I do really like the monthly chart, or the monthly contracts on the option charts. So I think we probably did end up breaking above this high intraday, if we could see on the 5-minute here, which, yeah, we did end up breaking above that. So could have entered there. Obviously we dropped a little bit in the close, but definitely a valid entry to take. Daily chart, like I said, looks really nice for higher. I think it's up actually a couple percent after hours, so gonna have to see how we open up and see if that move sticks at all. But Intel, name that I do like for higher, and I'm in this I have the 220 contract. So there was a ton of volume on like the 52 calls for that time, or for that expiration and strike, so I took those. And also I think the 50 calls had some good strength too, good volume on them. So yeah, that's the contracts we end up taking. And then I want to show you guys Apple. I mean, Apple is a really nice setup today. If we look here on the 30-minute, if you guys were watching this, gave a fat move. 10 SMA crossed the 50 on the 265 calls, and we got a fat rip out of it. I was watching this, and the weeklies went, I think, like right around like 200% that you could have caught if you played this cross. Higher time frames look good. We got the 1 hour crossed. Same thing with like the 2 hour was starting to cross. So this was like a textbook setup you could have played today. Zoom, another one that I'm going to be eyeing. This is another like monthly chart / regular chart play. Only thing I don't like about the monthly chart right here, or the monthly contracts, I always say the monthly chart, but it's what I mean by that is the monthly contracts, which is the 220 expiration. And the 50 SMA is just sloped down a little bit. Pretty much, if this opens green, most likely that 50 will straighten out. If we look back at the regular chart here, this is also looking nice. I mean, it's got a nice look to it. Break above previous day high up in here, it would be a nice entry to take, and that's what I'm going to be looking for. So yeah, that's what we did today. If you guys enjoyed, drop a sub. If you guys want to learn, join the Discord down below. It's where I share all the trades and where I post all the information on what I'm looking at throughout the day. So yeah, that's all I got. I'm out. Peace.